escape on this session. Mr. Function, come off it, teach them all a lesson. Me say, when we fire,
I hope so. Welcome back to the Point Ring Podcast. I'm Bert.
Ken Shaba.
Scott Balls.
And here we have
Mikey Frost.
Mikey Frost.
Mikey Frost. Big dog.
Big Dog, Glen Rob.
All right, man. So this is going to be a politic-heavy
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, we're
This
gonna
is
get,
after,
we're gonna
a
get
couple
right
weeks
into
after the
it.
election.
Well, we can, if you want, we can talk.
No, we can.
About
We can.
the fact that crypto is going to fucking
Oh
hate
my
shit
God.
right now.
Oh,
Crypto is
Big
We used to talk about crypto a lot.
Yeah,
Oh,
when
yeah,
we first
yeah,
started
we did.
when we first started the podcast, and then it ate shit for about what
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, the Biden economy, I guess, is turning around.
You said that like you believed it.
Of course I believe it. I remember Trump. Come on, man.
Yeah, let's get into you know what, Mike, though? Like, I want you to kind of, just so our 3 viewers have an idea, like, of who they're talking to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just tell them a little bit about yourself.
I mean, I'm from Jersey. I grew up in South Jersey, Pomona, Mays Landing, spent majority of my life here. Went to Drexel University, and, I worked all around the country, North Carolina, Houston, Texas, even Des Moines, Iowa, Niagara Falls. So, I've been exposed to all different types of people and all different types of environments. So I feel like over that time I have a good perspective.
Respect. I didn't even know you, because what do you do? I forgot.
I
You
be
engineer?
MIA sometimes, man. Yeah, so
You're an engineer, right?
Yeah, I went to Drexel Electrical Engineering.
Yeah.
And I've just kind of ran that route in manufacturing. So I've been all over the production floor, supervision, management, just every part of manufacturing. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
which is near and dear to me, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Dope. Love it. So, yeah, me and Mike were having a friendly exchange. This is what I want to give some props to Mike, because we started seeing where we were starting to like differ in our views and politics and such. Like, I still have a lot of the same views, I feel. It's just certain things that were starting to rub me the wrong way from, the left and whatnot. 'Cause that's why I grew up Democrat. Of course, most black families did. You just Democrat, blue, you all the way, right?
But it was, yeah.
And what I respect about him, though, is that we were always able, to disagree respectfully.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We never, I got mad love for this dude. I know him since I was 15 years old. You know what I mean? Like, I don't hear, like, now, I don't see a lot of people disagreeing respectfully anymore.
No,
And I think we need to get back to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's.
I think that's by design too. I think that we have been told to disrespect each other on both sides.
Yeah.
It's because at any point, if we start seeing each other's points and have empathy for each other, we're gonna actually get
Unite.
shit done.
Yeah, you're right.
You know?
I mean, that's, when you talk about just voting and views, right? It's people are attached to these perspectives or things that are going on very personally, but they also want to see that people support them.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's like, how do you weigh a personal situation versus a utilitarian aspect for it, right? So if someone brings up any topic with any level of controversy, you're going to most relate to yourself, right? And then in the process of relating to yourself, does that mean that you're now, isolating somebody in some kind of way by being true to yourself? And then that's when it becomes the big, like, well, fuck you too.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Right?
And
Yes.
and it's easy to go there now. Before, it used
That's
to
the
be
problem.
hard. It used to be more difficult to tell people fuck you because you had to tell them in person.
Yep.
But now you get to tell them over the internet. And,
Right.
there's not that underlying threat of
Getting punched in the fucking face.
getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
That's the truth, right?
the
It's
truth.
like, if you really came at me like that in person, now you got to deal with me.
Right.
And
Also, like you said, also in person, that the response, like having to actually defend your thoughts and your
Right.
A lot of people don't know how to do that
Yeah.
civilly. It's
Not only
like-
that, but in real time, when you're having a debate with someone or just having a conversation with someone, you have to be quick with it. You can't sit there and think about what you're going to type out.
Nah, you're
Right.
Googling, you're watching
Yeah.
reels.
Right.
You're like, you're
Yeah.
well studied, you know, and
Yeah.
you give this ultra educated response. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
I actually have a theory on why. So we see all night long at the bar, we see these kids trying to kick game to these girls, and it's disaster.
Oh, I imagine.
And I have a theory about it, and I think it's because they're not the one. They don't have to call the house and get through the dad, and then sit on a phone with a
Yep.
woman and
Yeah.
have something to talk about.
Knowing that you heard that extra click, so mom's listening.
Yeah, right, right,
100%.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have that engagement, like face-to-face engagement or ear-to-ear, whatever you want to call it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
when you're actually sitting there and you have to speak with someone,
Right.
it's all through text.
Right.
So
Yeah, everything is DMs. All communication now
Yeah.
is DMs.
Mm-hmm.
It's just typing
Yeah.
something on your phone. You don't, like you say, you don't have to see the reaction of somebody and then react in real time, which is actual normal conversation.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I mean?
I hate the DM, man, because, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of DM's a tricky place. You know what I'm saying? Because
Real.
DMs got screenshots. DMs have
Yep.
everything. You don't even know, right? Like, think about it. You're to a point now where if you don't even recognize the name, you don't even trust that that's a real person reaching out.
Yeah.
You're like, what burner are you?
Right. Right. What burner
are
account
you?
is this? Yeah.
Are you my ex? Like, stop it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
all I know is I get a lot of beautiful women who send me a lot of things on TikTok.
They're all really interested in you.
They're like,
Scott.
hey,
All these
handsome.
people on the
Yeah.
internet, she
Yeah.
chose me.
Yeah.
Hi, Danielle.
And I'm-
Is that you?
And none of
You're
them.
like, you can read my fucking name. What you mean? That's
Right, right,
Of
right.
course, that's not my name. Oh, well, then how are you?
Yeah, they keep
Like,
going
fuck
too.
you, spammer. Like,
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah.
just send the cash.
Yeah,
app.
DMs are rough, man. As you know, I lost a friend through DMs, and I didn't want that.
and
I was
you
trying
know-
to be, but
And you know, I guess we might as well jump right into
Yeah,
it.
let's-
Not
let's-
that
let's-
specific situation though.
yeah.
because I never really speak on the business, but
Yeah, me neither.
the ability to disagree respectfully, and I think you have to make a conscious decision sometimes that regardless of what gets said, I'm not going to lose a friend
Yeah.
over an election, right? Like, you have to start there. You have to ground yourself there, right?
Yeah.
So if Kenny says something that's, you know, incredibly wild and stupid,
go ahead.
I'm fucking with you.
Yeah, I
Kenny.
know.
But like, if he says,
I can give you an example if you want.
if he says, yo, I think if you're voting, you need an ID. I'm like, that's so cute for like 1990. But like, if I got locked up right now in Bumblefuck, Alabama, they'll run my prints. Those prints will go through some type of centralized database. Guess what? I told them I was Joe Johnson, but I got 3 days to get out of jail, max. If I can't, it's gonna come back. Oh no, you're actually Michael Farley, and it looks like you have this and this and this. So we need you to sit here, right? That's something that's been around way before smartphones. So
Okay.
when we look at our biometric data and our ability to identify ourselves, I think going towards just a card is almost a step back. It's like, no, amplify that shit. Like, you want people to vote, 10% people less voted. Well, okay, how can I vote from my living room then? Because I sprained my ankle last night. You know what I mean? Like, give me real tools in the future. You can verify who I am a million ways, right? Make it secure. Take the fraud part out of it, but make it easy. Right?
I'm not against that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Make
because
it
I've
easy.
never heard. Now that's what I'm
That's-
saying. Like, and this is once again going back to how the fuck I think we should all talk to each other. I was really dug in on that voter ID thing. Like, why would you want to have a like? I just don't understand. Which I still partly do believe, but I never heard that before. So I'm like, that's better. That may be better.
Of course.
And
To
now
work.
I can concede that that might be a better point. You know what I mean? But but for now, and this is what once again people don't do this. But I think as it stands right now, right? Because they could do that right now.
They
do
and I
every
hope
other
they
thing.
do,
Easy.
right?
Right,
No,
right.
I hope they do.
Right. Right.
know?
So I don't. I don't know why they. I mean, I have a thought of why I would think that they don't do that, but outside of what you just said, the voter. Do you feel like it's a problem that you just like you have to have a government issued ID, like?
Or do you just feel like it's an extra step, like an unnecessary extra step?
I think it just goes towards disenfranchising voters, and when you put obstacles, regardless of how small or how large that obstacle is, you're always going to get less, right? Even if it's one less, that's one less voter that didn't go through the process, right?
Yep.
A lot of the people that are unhappy with the election results right now, most of their ire is targeted towards certain groups, white guys, right?
Yeah.
Damn, why you guys pick them, right? So, but in reality, there's 10 million less Democrats that just weren't energized in our base, in our grassroots. You have a $1.5 billion campaign, right? I didn't get a single person knock on my door. In
Right.
2016, 2012, 2020, always had somebody. And guess who it is? It's somebody that works at the corner store that you got to deal with.
Yeah.
So, or I'm not going to your corner store anymore. Why? Because next time I go in there, he's going to be like, you voted, right? Remember that conversation we had?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you know what? I didn't make it to the polls today. Oh, so you lied to me?
Right.
And
Yeah.
you will feel a personal accountability towards your community, right? And that's how you get out of voting for survival, right? Yo, I had a bad year economically. I used to have this much money. Now I got this much money. Maybe we had to downside or downgrade, the way we're living, whatever, right? And, so if you're voting on that issue, you're not voting for Donald Trump. You're voting for any level of change that can make my circumstance better.
Correct.
How can anyone ever tell you that that's not valid? And the way that they do it is because, well, you took your personal situation and what about the war the war in Gaza and what about the LGBT community and you know what they're going to do to public education? Hold on, bro. Like some people are single issue voters. They exist, right?
Especially when that issue is survival.
Yeah, facts, right? It's like, dude, I recognize you got this view of the future, and I'm really sorry that your brother got beat up by a cop while Trump was in office, right? And he's still talking that law and order, and we don't know what that law and order means, right? So then, as black people, we say, well, hold on, we need some protections first. It's
Right.
like, I'm not giving you shit. I'm just coming back.
Yeah.
And so people are gonna look and say, nah, we don't want nothing to do with that, right? And he can say, and this is the power of Donald Trump, and this is where I think people should always be a little cautious with him, is he reacts in these grandiose manner, right? Like if someone leaked, who was it? Somebody leaked his secrets, that was a staffer, and he's like, can we execute them? Like, is this not an executable offense? And it's like, dude, no, it's not. They said y'all were
He's
eating.
fucking wild,
They
man.
said
Yeah.
y'all were
He
eating
says.
waffles, bro. It's like it's my secret, and I'm the
Yeah.
president. Do
Yeah.
whatever the fuck I want. And then you realize, like, okay, cool. What if he said, you know what? A bunch of my rich white buddies are sick of how these women are getting over in divorce.
Yeah.
So you know what? We're gonna make it so there's caps and limits, right? That's how they do. It's a slow drip.
Right.
So regardless of how rich I am, the most you can ever get from me now is $100,000 in the case of a divorce.
Yeah.
And no, why would I be responsible for your lifestyle? I provided it. You're
Yeah.
going elsewhere now, either because you want to or because I want you to. Right? What do you think that does to any woman at that point
Yeah.
in time? They're like,
Yeah.
you gonna have stay-at-home moms. They're gonna be really scared too. They're gonna have to really trust that guy, right? And then what does that do overall to families? And there's gonna be these rippling impacts that happen long after Trump leaves, and we have 7-2 Supreme Court that can just sit there and just take aim at whatever they feel like. It's not just abortion. It's just truly representing that you no longer have a centrist court. You have a court that is going to be majority conservative, and you don't know what type of conservatives you're dealing with. Like, where would you even put Trump on the spectrum? He's not
Nowhere.
Of conservative?
Not even
Yeah.
on it.
Nah, dude,
Where's he at?
I don't think he's on it.
He's
Right?
on his own.
He's a wild card.
He's his own metric.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right. So-
Yeah, he's his own metric. Exactly.
Right, and I think that you have a majority of people that are kind of focused in the center, right? And you can't make your whole political platform we represent the outsiders and the people who've always had to fight for justice and fight a little bit harder, because regardless, they're a small portion. So while you're doing that, you're isolating the people that Kenny talked about as we grew up, right? Like, we didn't grow up in these overly wealthy neighborhoods. Like, we grew up in regular ass, right outside of Atlantic City.
Yeah.
All our parents worked in the casinos and shit like that, right? So it's when the Democratic Party spoke to you then, how could you not say they were speaking to the working class,
I agree.
right?
I agree. Then it was somewhat normal, and they didn't treat their base like shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like this, like you even said it in the voice memo, where I totally agreed with, and I've been seeing this and hearing this from a lot of different people on the left and the right, is that the left has become what they supposedly hated, that elitist
Yep.
establishment, and if you don't do what we say, you're stupid, or it's an insult coming. You know what I mean? And I think people like myself, it makes me like, see, you know what I mean? I'm like, that's why I'm good. But see, me, like, I don't take, like, they know, like, I hate all these motherfuckers. Like, I don't like any of them. I think that 98, this is my belief. I could be way off. I think that 98% of politicians on the left and the right are shit, and they're in it for their own interest, and they have no care. They might have some desire to help the people, but if an opportunity is presented to them where they can help themselves and the people have to suffer, I think 98% are going to choose themselves. I think there's 2% on both sides that are in it, strictly for the people. And even if they don't advance at all personally, they're with that. So for me, I'm looking at it like, I don't claim Republican, Democrat. Like, I'm more whatever is important to me, whoever's talking about that is who I'm fucking with at that moment.
Yep.
That's it. And I think that's how most people should kind of believe or feel, because once you start like having an undying allegiance to a political party, I think
Anything goes type of thing.
Yeah, and I think you can be brainwashed easily.
I
You
think
know what I mean?
Also,
Like,
you have an interest in like it becomes an ideology rather than an actual, like your actual, like your own opinions.
Right.
So now you're being told what to think rather than how to think.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like how to think for yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So
And
thinking outside of the box is a hard thing for people. Like critical thinking is
It's at an all-time low.
it's at
this
an
point,
all-time
dude.
low. Because
well, you have to be honest sometimes and understand that ideology is a replacement for education, right?
Yes.
And also, the ability to think and reason, I think, is something that most people can't be honest with themselves about where they at on that spectrum. Like, I'm constantly feeding you information and I'm watching you with the same exact point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So why would I continue to rationalize with you? If the only thing you're ever going to deduce is the same thing
Right.
that you started from, right? So it's not important that you know all these world history facts, right?
you're not gonna do anything with
It's
it.
more
Right.
important, right, to understand what were the climates that and the situations in the world that were going on that allowed something like that to take place. That's not in the book.
Yeah.
That part's not going to be in the book, right?
Right.
You have to be able to put yourself in those different situations, recognize why certain countries were slow to step in, slow to react, and why they were able to do things long enough behind closed doors that by the time it was out in the open, you couldn't fucking stop it. You needed a coalition of the world to stop it.
Right.
To say, hey, cut that out. You know what I mean? And by then there's camps and people burning.
Yeah.
Right. And we relate to that because that's one of the later atrocities that have happened. But I think you have similar things under attack right now. Trump got up there and said he's going to do, I don't know, people are calling them reparations, right? But white people who were discriminated whenever they were applying to certain colleges and universities, like you should be able to go back and sue those trust funds and or sue those endowments at the university because you were a qualified candidate, right? And it's like, arguing with people over the quality and who's qualified of the candidates misses the point of what DEI actually is, right? DEI is the fact that you have to go recruit these people. So I need you on a plane to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Mrs. Harvard, because there's a kid out there right now that just put out a 1620 SAT and has a 4.9, enriched GPA that no one's ever heard of.
Right.
And if he's really as great as it looks like he might be, I need him over here getting educated. Right?
Yeah.
So now you got somebody from Harvard on a plane to visit some kid of color, some minority, whatever, and they're going to give that person a pre-interview. That's your qualification. You're talking to somebody who knows what it takes to be a Harvard person, and you're impressing them.
Right.
That is your entrance. That's your admission. And I've given and delegated the ability to be able to bring a kid like that in, even at our cost. Why? Because we would have never found him.
Yeah.
It's not about whether this kid would have got in or not.
It wouldn't have been found.
Yeah.
Right.
They would have never existed.
Yeah.
This opportunity would have never been there. So no, it's not at the expense of, the white guy whose dad donated boats to the crew team. Like,
Right.
no, bro, you're still in. You're locked in. Your name's on a building. Like,
Yeah.
there's kids that's not even born yet that can go there. They just say they know you.
Now, the way you describe DEI, if it worked like that, or if the people knew that it worked like that, I don't think people would have a problem with that.
No.
Because here's the issue, is what we've seen a lot with the whole DEI thing is there's been people that are getting these opportunities that may not be qualified, but you're just putting them in because, they meet a qualification of they're black or they're Hispanic or whatever, they're Asian. And of course, like, that's going to piss people off. It pisses me off because as a black dude, and I'm sure you may or may not agree, but I think you would. I know you don't want to be chosen. If I know you right, you don't want to be chosen for nothing
No.
just because you're black.
No.
You're like, listen, y'all know how capable I am.
Yeah.
Y'all know how intelligent I am. You
Yeah.
know how I can present myself. You choosing me on that first, my
Facts.
merit.
Yeah.
And a lot of that shit seemed to not be happening, which was offensive to me. And I'm like, why are they just like, this isn't the way this is supposed to work. Like, it's supposed to work like the way you said it.
Yeah.
And that's the why I think that's why people have an issue with the DEI. Is that like how you feel about it?
Oh, 100%.
Right?
100%, yeah. I mean, if it was, like you said, if it was done exactly the way you were just, I don't think anybody would have a problem with that.
Right.
I mean,
I think that was the intention of it, right?
Yeah.
And then now you have a good vision for a program, but now you got to give it to the strategists and all your people that
And that's where it
are
gets-
in place tactically
Yep.
to execute. So what happens, right? It's some people are gonna have a more laissez-faire approach to it, and
Right.
and what does that come down to? Numbers.
Yeah.
Right? Numbers can be bullshit.
Yeah.
Numbers lie. And that's when they'll say, give me the top 2% of candidates and this is the criteria. Send them over here, make them circle a bubble of white or not. And then that's what they do. They look and they already said, my criteria was insane. So if these people made it through my criteria, well, now I got to pick some black people.
Right.
And what did I do? Right? I took a program that could be effective, reach many people, build pipelines with, local high schools, colleges, like that can just branch out into many things. And what I did was I reduced it to, a little pencil pushing assignment. That's what people are pissed about.
Yeah.
You don't know that kid,
Right.
right? Add one more bubble that says somebody met them in person and, provide the proof of how long and what those interactions were about. If you did those extra couple of steps, people, I don't want to do that shit.
Yeah.
But if you create a department and now you make me the senior vice president of diversity, equity, and inclusion for your big institution or corporation, and now invite me into your C-suite, I was like, dude, you're walking into the C-suite like everything that you hate about the program. That's why people call you DEI. Bro, you're not here. What are you here for? You're not my supply
There you
chain.
go.
You're not my supply chain guy. You're not my operations guy. You're
Yeah,
not my
what are you?
finance guy.
Right.
You're not my innovation. You're not my techno. The fuck are you in our room for?
Yep.
And you want the associated? Go back outside.
Yeah.
Just go sit in the corner, DEI. What kind of shares you get? You get none. Because I don't even know what the hell you're doing.
Right.
And you bring that attitude back out there, right? It is just supposed to be a form of finding
Equality
and-
of opportunity.
Right. And then it makes every opportunity that anyone gets that much more fair.
Yes.
Right? And that's what you're hopefully trying to do when you balance out the scale.
Yeah.
A little bit, right? And that's what people see now. It's like, I don't know what's happening with the scale. I felt like it was tipping, right?
Yeah.
But it tipped the wrong way, in the wrong fashion. You built up a whole bunch of dissension and hate. Like, you could have those white people out there looking for the black kids,
Yeah. 100%.
right? Except 100%. But if you look at all the people leading these programs, what are they? They always got a little tint to them, right? They always got a little tint to them. They always got a little accent with them. They always got
Yeah.
something, right? So you start with your exclusion right at the top. I'm like, nah, man.
Yeah.
Give me the most open-minded, bright,
Come on.
somebody with the ability to identify talent. I want you. Yo, special assignment, 2 years. Yeah. I know you're going to be executive vice president of operations. Here's your shit test for 2 years, though. And build me a program that everybody's jealous of. I want Meta mad. I want Google mad. I want Tesla. Well, shit, you can't say Tesla because that's a real white dude. But,
That's a real white.
it's but like build me the standard, right? And that space exists because the standard is too clouded. Everybody feels a certain kind of way now. So I'm all in favor, by the way, of getting rid of it. Like, cut the DEI shit. You know what I'm like? At odds are you're hiring somebody like me based on credentials and the fact that I'm confident enough to sign up for some shit that nobody can do and try my best.
Yeah.
And if we got to punt, we will punt, but it will be, from the 50-yard line, not out of our goal, not out of our own end zone,
Yeah,
right? Like, we're
yeah.
going to make some progress along the way. But I'm the guy that's going to tell you, by the way, I really don't think this can be done.
Yeah.
And you're going to believe me because I'm a person that if it can be done, I've done it. I do it.
Right.
Right. So, and I say this as someone who's created Black employee networks at sites with 1,000 people, right, and been
damn.
tapped from, right next to the CEO to do it. You're the guy, and I'm like, I can do the work, but like, why don't you be the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because I'm not here for the accolades, right? But if it comes from a face like you,
Yeah.
there will never be doubt.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And your goal is 20 years from now that when it comes from a face like mine, that it feels like it came from a face like yours. That's what your goal is in all of this. And then you can wipe your hands from it. We're done. We can move on to the next, societal issue.
why do you think it doesn't work like that? Why do you think the DEI shit did get as muddied and, I guess.
Because you started using it as a way to discredit people that have earned their spot, right? So let's just use Kamala because I got my Howard shirt on. HU represent. So I didn't go there, but I love there. So, and I hit a couple chicks from there. But
Some bad joints at Howard, though.
It was. Shout out to them. So I would go back. If you see this, reach out.
See Mike at the next homecoming.
Yeah. But if you throw something out to someone who was, a prosecutor and gets elected to DA and gets elected for Senate and gets chosen, for vice president, but had to campaign on that ticket. Someone with millions and millions of votes that have happened in their life for them across all types of demographics. And you say you was a DEI hire, right? It doesn't matter if it's true anymore. Right?
I agree with that.
Your ability to recklessly throw that term out there, well, now that's what people are associating it with.
Yeah.
And you're talking about people that earn their spot. And now if people can look at them and say, yeah, that's some DEI shit. Okay, now we see.
Right.
What does that mean? That means that just because someone is a certain thing, that we're going to put them in spots they're undeserving of because it looks good, because it satisfies the country's heartstrings.
Yeah.
When an unarmed black guy gets choked to death or shot up or somebody gets their apartment barged in and they get shot, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let's give them something. It's like, that's not giving nobody nothing.
Right.
Right. If you wanted to give people something, you would give them the ability to be treated the same way as if that was, your people that happened to, right?
Right.
I don't see the white guys, outside selling cigarettes, getting choked to death for it, and we know this. Like,
yeah, of course.
And here's the thing, we know this. I've been in Houston, I've seen guys walk out of bar drunk and the cop drive them home. Like, I've seen where you didn't have to get the DUI and your life's fucked up for 3 years and your insurance and like you don't have to do that.
Right.
Right? But I also can tell you when you look at the people that grace has been extended to, that, oh, I got a lawyer, and then all of a sudden they just turned it into reckless driving. How much did you pay? I don't know, like a couple grand. And you're like, damn, really? Because if you were black, that probably cost you about 20 in Jersey. Like,
Yeah.
And that's the parts of the system that feel unfair. But when you just take a term, anything good, and you just start slapping it on people that are extremely qualified and supposed to be the poster of this is as good as it can be, right? At its best form. And then you turn them into the villain for it or question them. Like, nah, bro, you made The Apprentice and what? Like, you were the president. I'll give you that. So now does that say you're the most qualified for the job, right? Like,
Yeah.
can you go be CEO at Kraft right now? Hell yeah. And there's a team of people in place that'll make it so you will not fail, right? But that doesn't understand that you know anything about managing the business of Kraft and truly providing a vision, right? Because that's what the president is responsible for. They don't run the country in that way. There's all these branches, all these departments, right? They are responsible for setting all those people to move towards a vision that's better for everybody in the future.
Agreed.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So I like what you were saying there because I'll tell you exactly why. I obviously voted for Trump, but I'll tell you exactly why. Because I look like this. No. So what you were saying was really important. I didn't vote, and I told you guys on the last podcast. I didn't vote for Trump. I voted for the people he put around him, especially this time around. So it was like Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek, Elon Musk, JD Vance.
I'm calling Tulsi my DEI hire though.
Hey,
Turncoat motherfucker.
RFK Jr. So it's those people who I recognized as like the moderate Democrats, especially JFK and Tulsi, because they were kind of like they
She's
sat
Republican
in the middle.
now.
You can
She switched sides.
I can see why you think that. I can 100% see why you think that. But I want a party that's built on top of views from both sides, because you can, unfortunately, like this is the only way things are going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, at all, any kind of actual real change for us.
Right.
You know, where things actually get better for us, where we actually can, like, especially, and I really do. I worry about. I have 3 stepkids, pretty much, right? And I really do worry that they're not going to be able to fucking have any kind of future as far as like owning property, you know, having some kind of sustainable
employment.
Exactly. And not so much employment, because I think they're going to be working for fucking ever.
Yeah,
there you go.
It'll be sustainable, but it'll be forever.
Not ever be able to retire. You know,
Yeah.
I look at that and like, because I feel like our generation was the last one where we really had opportunity to do these type of things and kind of make a good life and get a house and have a family and, you know, be able to afford it and not be killing ourselves and have actual quality of life.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's where I came from with my vote. I didn't vote for any of the bullshit.
Me either.
The noise. You know, I could care less about it. I really want like actual things to change for us. And unfortunately, I was a Democrat. I was a registered Democrat up until 2016. I didn't vote that year because they ran Hillary against Trump. I was like, I hate both of these motherfuckers. I can't stand either one of these people. I didn't vote that year.
I'm with her.
And
Terrible slogan.
I voted for Obama,
Horrible.
and he didn't show up the way I thought he was going to show up.
Yeah.
You know, I was really disappointed in him.
Yeah.
But I was still a registered Democrat. I was like, all right, man, you know, I get that it's not going to be just, you know, everybody isn't going to do what I think they're going to do. You know?
Right.
So that year, then they ran Hillary, and I was like, this is insane. Like, you have a fucking turd sandwich or a turd fucking roll up. That's all you got. This is insane to me.
turd wrap.
You know, and
Turd wrap. Turd wrap. Not
Roll up. I like a
roll
roll
up is
up.
weird.
Orange turd.
I didn't want to say burrito and offend you.
Oh, you Mexican?
No.
That's even
he's
better.
white though, so he doesn't see. You know,
Right.
we all look the same to him.
I was gonna say you get your paperwork yet?
You
All
white.
my, all
Ben
my
Affleck.
shit's in line.
Yeah, he's not getting deported. He's not getting mass deported.
I'm a citizen.
He's not.
No,
I'm a
he's not
citizen.
getting mass
I'm a
deported.
citizen of a garbage island.
Yeah, he's from the garbage. The
Puerto
floating island.
Rico. All right, you know, Boricua. You know, I just want you to know that, you know, that only applies to the Puerto Ricans that are here. You know, y'all don't have the same rights on the floating piece of trash. Just want you to know that.
That's true.
In case it
From the
goes,
Commonwealth.
in case it goes down, you know, you might not be able to help your people, but wish them good luck.
Nah, but he'll go back. Trump will go back down there
throw some
and
prayers.
shoot
Throw some prayers.
free throw paper towels at people again.
You know?
Worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know if my parents were alive or dead, and he's shooting
Free throws.
free throws.
Oh man, it still got.
I didn't know if my
involved.
parents
Need
were
some
alive.
paper towels to clean up that mess.
See that, like, there's these stories, right? And then people will be like, "But I'm gonna give him another chance."
That's how bad shit got.
Yeah, exactly. But
So I'm just like, don't talk shit to me when I take my ex back.
so when you say
Look what y'all doing with votes. Like, nah. Why she leave? It doesn't matter why she left.
That's a fact.
You can come home. If he voting for Trump after he was shooting free throws in a hurricane,
yeah.
it is what it is.
I didn't vote for Trump, by the way.
You
He should have.
You'd have been standing on business.
Yeah, I mean,
Just playing, man.
but that's kind of like it's a good segue into this because I feel like it was that bad that I voted for this dude. Like,
You would have never thought.
I would have never thought I would have voted for Trump. I voted for Biden last election. You know what I mean? Like I thought Trump was nuts, and I still think he is.
Yeah.
A lot of him is nuts. But I feel like it was that bad between what happened with COVID, right? How I was personally treated and was right. And was right to take the stance.
Which, once again, I hope we talk about how to peacefully disagree
Right.
with people.
Right.
Because Kenny and the Mask should have been a thing. Like Kenny and the Mask should have been its own. It should have its own Instagram handle.
Yeah.
Kenny's like, did you know 43.5% of germs?
That's right. That's right.
You had did
standing
some
on my
research.
shit, yo.
You had did some research.
That's right.
Exactly.
I'm like,
I
dog.
stand on my beliefs, though.
Meanwhile, there's people like me in the corner, like, bro, I had that shit 3 times. I don't even give a fuck about COVID no more.
Yeah.
Like, I'm chilling now, man.
Right.
Like,
But
I
no.
got COVID beat.
Yeah, but like it was the way people that didn't want to comply were
Yeah.
treated.
Yep.
That's what I didn't like.
Yeah.
I mean, you heard crazy shit, like people saying wild shit. Like I always go back to, I said this a bunch of times, but I still can't believe the climate was that crazy versus like unvaccinated people that it was starting to get a little scary when Jimmy Kimmel can be on live TV and say, if you got an unvaccinated person and a vaccinated person, and they're both like having a heart attack, and we're running out of hospital beds, vaccinated person, come on in, we'll take care of you. Unvaccinated, rest in peace, Wheezy. He literally said that shit.
Yeah.
I was like, my mouth was, I could not believe that's the climate. And I was like, this is how atrocities start. This is how it starts. I'm not saying this is definitely going to happen, but that's how it starts. That dehumanization process.
Yeah.
It had started during COVID for unvaccinated people.
Yeah.
And how I was treated by a lot of people, with no apologies at the end, of course, because nobody admits when they're wrong. Right? You know what I mean?
I apologize. I watched you go crazy online. Dude. I never stepped in.
Yeah, I'm like, you're never one of these people that I expect any apology from, but the people that would like talking to me crazy, and I'm like, I chose not to get it. I didn't need it. And now all the restrictions get pulled back. Oh, there's no need for this, that. Like, my mom's doctor, because my mom got the shot, cool. And that's the thing. It was this. I'm cool if you want to fucking get the shot.
Yeah.
Leave me the fuck alone if I don't want to get it. I'm not judging you for getting an experimental medicine in your body that has been tested for like 6 months when most vaccines are tested for 7 years. Do your thing. If you feel like that's going to help you, I ain't even judge those people. But I got all the shit. And that's why I get so pissed off, because I'm always fair. I always try to be fair when people disagree with me. I always try to, I don't do the name calling. I try not to, I want to really understand why you think the way you think. But that's not what I got. And so COVID, the way I was treated during that, how I was able to see that go down, the pushing of the LGBTQ shit on everything. I don't have no problem, once again, with, I don't give a fuck what you want to identify as, who you want to have sex with. I really don't care. If you're happy and you ain't hurt nobody, fucking live life.
Yeah.
But making me feel like I have to be involved in that, and you're pushing it on me, and I got to see it everywhere, every Disney movie, every this, every that, every flag, every rainbow. I'm like, what is this? Why? You know what I mean? That, and then how the economy tanked is doing better now.
Yeah.
Right? I know it is doing better now, but the problem is Americans still ain't feeling that shit, just like you said.
It hasn't trickled down
If
yet.
stocks are doing what the stock market is doing, right, it hasn't trickled down. Like, but raspberries are still $9. When I went to ShopRite yesterday, raspberries are $9 for a car. $9.
Yep.
I'm like, this is crazy. So the economy.
Was that why you're gonna make your parfait?
Huh? What you mean?
Like, is it messing up your parfait in the morning?
No, it's just I can't fucking buy them for my
How
son.
expensive granola is.
Yeah. Wow. Sorry about the price of your Greek yogurt.
I don't even like yogurt now.
Okay.
Does Kenny have white people problems?
Yeah. Yeah, my bad.
He's like, my bad.
My bad.
You know what I mean?
But no, like shit really is expensive though. We know it.
How much are oodles and noodles though?
Yeah, nah, I don't. I'm above that now.
Oh, see,
Yeah, that's right.
then got bougie.
I did that for 15 years.
Welcome to the fold.
With hot sauce.
Shit, I could do it for 15 more.
I
Let's
could if I had to. Yeah, if we gotta get down to it, we could do it.
go.
But
100%.
but I think all those things. The border being, I don't know, just an open door. That all those things it got so bad with the climate in America that I was like, if we do another 4 years of this same administration, what the fuck is that going to look like?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I was like really concerned. So it was to the point where it's that bad for me. And I'm like, I'm going to vote for this dude just because he's talking a good game, but that's what's fucked up. That's
Yeah.
what we as voters only can go
That's all
off
we go
of.
off of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever's
Yeah.
talking to us,
Yeah.
we have to vote for them. If the other side isn't talking to our interests and somebody is, you're like, all right, this is the only power I have. Let me go vote.
But I don't think you just go off of that necessarily, right? There's something that Kamala.
Anybody want more beers?
Yeah, let me get one.
Well, let me. I'll grab them because I got.
You okay?
Is this a
You guys
timeout?
can keep your.
No, you
Oh,
can.
yeah.
keep
we,
going.
we have the power of editing,
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
facts.
but we're not gonna edit you.
So like there's this thing that Trump exudes, right? And I think it's a characteristic that all of us look for in terms of leaders, right? Because if we all know a really good leader, any really good leader, they do say the cheesy thing, right? They do say the thing that people look to their left and right and go like, man, that's just never gonna happen.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
They always say that thing,
Yeah.
right? And the reason they're saying those things is to hopefully inspire
you,
you
sir.
to try to get as close to those things as possible, right? What Kamala was communicating to a lot of people was like, where we are is fine. And the reason she said that without saying that is because she should have ripped Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
she should have came out and trashed him, not necessarily just because, he did reach that mental ineptitude kind of space, right?
Yes, he did.
But she should have also had the wherewithal to say, like, yo, things aren't going well. 70% of the country just said, we don't like the direction of the country. So the first thing you got to do is say, I need y'all to know I was backing him up. I was supporting, but I'm not him.
Right.
Like, fuck it. Bring Kendrick out. Say they not like us. Like, I'm not like him.
Right.
You're
Right.
not- and guess what? I'm going to show you how much I'm not like him. You're not going to see Obama. You're not going to see Michelle. You're not going to see Joe. You're not going to see anything that reminds you of Joe Biden. It's all gone. We wiping that out. This is me. You got 100 days, right? Take a shot. And I think the other thing is they didn't communicate to the voters how to get things done, because that's what we learned when Obama was in office, right? When Obama got voted in, we got our ass kicked in the midterms, and you lost position within the House and the Senate, and you ended up in a place where you could no longer effectively legislate. Right. That is change. That's the change that you weren't seeing anymore, right?
Yeah.
And what Trump did a good job of this time, and he said it every stop, everywhere you were at. What you guys vote for in your district, though, is not going to matter. The numbers aren't there. Too blue. So
Yeah.
don't worry about it. But vote for me anyway, right? So he told those people, I know in these districts I can't gain Senate seats. I can't gain any type of ground in the House. I'm an alternative. But I know where I'm at right now. I know 98% of you are going blue.
He's very aware.
I'm staying here for 90 minutes. That's it. You're not going to have time to climb the roof and shoot at me. I'm out. And he goes to the next place, though, and then he makes the educated point. Here is a place where there's somebody in the house that we can flip this seat. And if you flip this seat, you're not only going to vote for me, but you're also going to vote for the ability to give me, a way to actually change and implement things. And what ended up happening when the dust cleared, this red wave, Trump won. So you got Republicans won there. The Senate, 52 seats, 54 seats, whatever. It's a majority.
Yep.
They got control of the Senate.
Yep.
The House just happened by the thinnest of margins.
Yeah.
They got 218, right? And I know there's a couple seats still outstanding, but the whole point is that's the magic number, 218 in the House.
Yeah.
Right? So now what's happening? I got all my branches covered. He's the only president that can say that, right? He's got every branch of government covered right now.
Yeah.
He's got your Congress done, your executive branch done, your judicial branch, right, done.
Yeah.
So, because I got the judges, and I'm looking at you, Sotomayor, right? you got like 30 days. Retire. Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go, please. Don't RBG me. I'm not posting you. I promise. I did that for her. And nothing happened.
I'm not posting
so
you.
I'm not doing it. Like when you go out,
I'm not
you
posting
just go.
you.
But here's the thing. He's also being very clear. I can't come back again. Mm-hmm. And what happens after me, I really don't have a lot to do with it. What I am saying is, in 2026, when midterms come up again, I need the same. I need the same love.
energy. Yeah, the same
I
love.
need the
right.
same love.
Yeah.
Because I want 4 years of doing whatever the fuck I want.
Right.
And then I'll decide at some point how outlandish and how crazy that's going to get. Come on, like,
Right.
some of it's cheesy, bro. They got a Department of Government Efficiency.
I'm not mad at that though.
Hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
DOGE.
Yeah, I know.
I know. No, that's cheesy.
With Elon's face.
That's cool. I know. I know.
Come on, man. Y'all corny.
That's corny.
That is
Like,
corny.
That's
You know what I'm
100%
saying?
corny. Nah, that's corny.
That's
I saw
part-
it too, and I was like,
That's part of why we mad, bro. I'm like,
I was like, really? Dude?
I'm not mad because I made a shit ton of money because of it. So.
Well, shit. I mean,
Saw
you were-
that coming.
I mean, you were
Right,
I mean,
right.
you were sitting at like 8 cents and went to like 40. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
Yeah, I'm not mad.
Yeah, don't worry. What goes up must come down.
I mean, it is an unrealized gain at this point, so it's
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Which Kamala wanted to tax? Wanted to tax unrealized gains, bro.
Well,
How crazy is that?
I'm-
Isn't that crazy though, Mike? Mike, that's crazy.
I think right now you're talking about something that is more theoretical.
Okay.
And the reason it's theoretical is because Kamala, this is where I know she lacks leadership experience, right? You lack leadership experience every time you want the numbers to truly gel.
Okay.
That is not my job. Talk to my press secretary. Talk to whoever. She'll make it make sense.
Yeah.
I'm not here to make it make sense. I'm here to communicate a one-way message to you that I am not going back and forth with you about compromising. Do you ever hear Trump say, "What'd you say in the crowd?"
Yeah. No.
Oh, you know what? That's a good question you asked. I think I would do this. You know what Trump said? You talking while I'm talking? Get him out of here. And what do people do? They fucking clap and then they sky surf the dude out of there. And, sometimes they put him in a helicopter. They don't give a shit, right? It's because it's I said what I said.
Right.
Right? So she's in the nitty gritty, giving out all this information that every fickle woman
Yep.
right? And we know this from our lives. Think about it. Think about the times you were somewhere that you might not have been. You shouldn't have been there. And you got home late. And she was waiting. I want to see your phone. I don't even have a phone. Straight face. Hold the lie. Fuck it. Hold the lie. I have no phone. Where was you at? Shit, man. You know what?
I don't even have a phone. Is so crazy.
I got it. Listen, look. You can look at him with a straight face. I gotta go to sleep. I'll talk to you in the morning. I'll be on the couch though. I understand you're mad. I also don't give a fuck. Go out there, right? And then she's gonna sit there and stew with it, right? And you know what? She has to decide what she's going to do.
Yeah,
Are you
the
going to
ball's in
pack?
her court at
Are
that
you
point.
going to pack up and leave? Are you whatever you want to do though? It's on you. The last thing I'm going to do is say, Nah, I was with Kenny. Look, like, yo, you want me to call him?
Right.
No, don't call him.
Please don't call me.
Kenny's not a good actor. He's gonna pick up the phone. What's
Not a
up?
good actor.
What's up, bro? Yo, you remember them? No. Green flag, red flag. Like, you trying to call plays, right? And that's where she messed up. She was going back and forth and giving these details. And
Because, you know why? Here's why. My belief why. There's not much to Kamala, I don't think. I don't think there's much there. I don't think there's much here. I mean, serious. It's like, here's where she fucked up. We talked about this last podcast. And this showed me there's not much there. She's doing what she's being told by her team to do at every single turn.
Yep.
When she was on The View, the show that you couldn't have an easier go on if you're on the left.
I mean, they asked her
I
about
mean-
Joe Biden, though.
They did because they got a little they got a couple people that lean conservative on there now. But when they said to her that question, what would you do differently? And she says, in her empty brain, there's nothing that I can think of.
Nothing comes to mind. Right?
Yeah, nothing that comes to mind or something like that.
With the backing of women.
That's what I'm saying.
And if you were a smart woman, you could have just said some slick shit to get out of it.
Right.
You'd be like, well, what wouldn't I have told that man out? You know what I mean? Like, and they
Right.
all started clapping, like, girl,
Right,
tell me about
right.
it. Like, all right.
And you would've had a little moment.
Uniting womanhood that men are stupid. And
Right.
meanwhile, I don't really have to answer that question.
Yeah.
Right.
It becomes a non-factor. But by co-signing, you almost double down on it.
You do double down because you're
Right.
saying, yeah, I'm not going to do this. Americans, the 70% that said they're unhappy with everything going on in America. You just told them, I'm going to continue this for another 4 years.
Yeah.
I believe that most
Yeah,
people
she
that
lost
saw that
people there.
shit, she lost
people
maybe
there.
most of them, bro.
That's
Like-
like the straw that breaks the. And look what you're up against, right? Even if you don't agree with Trump, which I do not disagree, I don't often agree with Trump on many things, right? But what I can say is this guerrilla media campaign that he ran
Crushed it.
was fucking genius.
He crushed it.
You gotta do like
crushed it, bro.
imagine if your homeboy was walking by right now, right? And you said, yo, Mark, if I don't win, fuck Facebook. Like, word. Like, yeah, fuck Facebook. I'm not even messing with that no more. Like, just imagine the power. Trump said, Elon said, I'm shutting Twitter down, by the way, if Trump don't win. Do what you will. I don't care if y'all delete it. Whatever. I already bought it for $40 billion. I don't care.
Right.
I'm not playing with y'all.
Right. I
Like,
don't need it.
So when you have those type of people with that much resolve around you, you're like, yo, and that's the leader of the pack.
Right.
That's a hard motherfucker.
Right.
Like, so like bottom line, end of the day, it's like, I know that dude has something,
Yeah.
right? Even if I don't necessarily
Right.
agree
There's
with
something there.
what it is, right?
That you admire too.
Who do you see when you surrounded Kamala? You kept bringing out bigger people. Like, don't bring out Michelle Obama when people wish Michelle Obama would have ran.
Exactly.
It's because they know nothing's there with Kamala, so they have to
Like,
fucking
That's
support
with all the
it.
celebrities and all that shit.
Yeah.
And is
which
she-
all got paid
Is
crazy
she-
amounts of money.
Is she gonna? Well, that's what happened to the $1.5 billion. That should have been.
I know.
That should have been.
Beyonce got $10
spread-
million for that.
That should have been.
She's in debt
spread-
now, right? Like the campaign's in debt. Like,
20 million.
Don't worry. Trump said, you know, if
He'll
y'all
pay
short,
for it.
if you
He
short, I
did
got
say
you.
that. He
Such
did
an
say
asshole.
that. I was
And-
like,
and-
yo,
and-
he's-
and-
if you're
such
short,
an
I
ass.
got you.
Yo,
That's
and
crazy.
you want to know what's funny about that? That to me is the most black thing you could say.
That's some nigga shit for
because
real.
that is some
That's
nigga
some
shit to
nigga
say
shit
to
for real.
somebody. Like,
really is.
it's like this. It's
Oh,
like
I got you, bro.
It's like low key. I got you.
yeah, I
though.
spot you 100. You need it? I got
Yeah,
you.
it's like yo, it's like yo, dog, I got you. Every barbershop was like, see, I told you, we really fuck with Trump. You know, and he's sitting up there like,
Because Trump got
why do you really fuck with him?
Trump
Because
got
he told
nigga
him.
qualities.
He does. That is a nigga tendency, right?
For real.
That's what white people when the bill comes due and it was $127 a person, them motherfuckers be like, I put in my $254 for me and my lady. If you still short, you just short. And then it'd be the black people at the end of the table rolling their eyes like, motherfucker, you ain't had to order the cheesecake martini. I saw you. I saw you with your fucking seafood tower, bitch. I saw you. You know, and what do they do? Let me just put an extra 300 on this, man. Let's get up out of here. You embarrassing me. You know who ain't embarrassed? The white people that paid their $254. They be like, I paid my $254. I don't even know what's going on. I'm just gonna leave now. Oh, you just gonna leave now? Shit. Black people don't even feel like they can leave. Like we feel like if we just walked out after we paid our fair share, there might be some shit waiting at the door.
Some shit going on.
You know what I'm saying? And don't Instagram me because I don't Instagram well. You know what I'm saying? Like you catch me, I'm walking out like Pac-Man Jones with an oversized hat for no reason, and like he'd be like, "Man, you know, I saw Mike. How's Mike doing? He wasn't doing too good, bro. You know, he got in some shit over there. Like, no, man, don't do that to me, man."
Right.
So,
Yeah, man. It was Kamala just wasn't, and another thing for me, because obviously, if there's a black woman running for fucking president, don't you know every fiber in me wants to support that?
yeah, man.
I want to support it. Like, I'm like, yes, let's make history.
No.
Not at the cost of somebody who's not able to do the job well, though. I don't want that black person to do it, because what does that do? If you want to talk some black
Do you
power
feel
shit
like,
for a second.
black people don't need that? They don't need that failure.
That's
No,
what I'm
that's
saying,
not-
because
yeah.
it makes us look even
Right?
worse. It pushes
Like-
us far back, because it's like, okay, let's put this black person in charge that doesn't have the merit or doesn't show that they deserve it. And if they fuck up, look, you dumb niggas.
Yep.
You couldn't do it again. We gave you the chance.
Yep.
And that's what pisses me off about black people that support people because they're black first. I'm like, y'all are not seeing the bigger picture. If you want us to advance, we can't just put any black person in a space. We have to be qualified, because then we can shut people the
back
fuck
it
up.
Then you can back
right.
it up. Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
you can't say shit.
Now you can't say
like
shit.
we're performing at the highest levels of anybody else that's been in this position, and we're black, this, that, the other. Boom. Now there's no doubt left.
Yeah.
But
Now black is a
for her,
footnote.
for her, I'm like, I just don't see it. And another thing I didn't feel, and I genuinely watched. I watched the last shit she did on with Shannon Sharp's joint. I watched the whole thing because I try to give everybody a fair chance, whether I disagree or not. Because when I talk, I don't want to come from a place of. I try not to come from a place of bias, right? But every time I watch her, and I feel like I'm a real person and I can kind of recognize real people, I don't feel authenticity from her. I feel like everything that she's saying is being fed to her. You don't feel like that with Trump. And I'm not saying that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
But that's a big thing for people, though. You know, Trump he's saying what the fuck is coming from here. And that's not always
he
good.
He should be fed some.
Right, he should be fed some shit.
I mean,
Because some shit he says
give
is like,
something.
you're like, bro, what the fuck is that?
You're all gay.
Like, he does that all the time. And I'm like,
When I sit there and I look at those interviews where she tried to be candid or she tried to be off the cuff, like
ugh, so awkward, cringy.
she forgot that it's you know, it's not about when the lights is on or when the lights are off, right? There's people, or if you go on Twitter and be like, yo, just saw Trump, and like he'll be talking, giving his little speech or something, and you just see him like he just wink at him, point at him, right? You know what I'm saying,
Bro,
like,
it's that real shit, though.
you know, like this was a great fight weekend for bad fights. So
that's a really good way to put it.
The Mike Tyson thing, like I was outside and I was pumped up. It didn't live up to the hype,
No.
the actual event,
No.
but the feeling was great. When I was watching, you know, my man Bones Jones, like get busy.
Yeah.
He
And-
fucking did work.
Did
Yo.
work. I think he shattered his whole
Bro, he
rib
had
cage.
to, bro. That
Something.
kick was
He just went that. Honestly, that fight, I think personally, I think that sealed him as the
the
greatest of all
GOAT
time.
ever. Yeah.
When
Like,
he
Yeah.
did that, I was sitting there. I was like, all right, might be okay.
And by the way, Bones Jones is not widely accepted in the black community.
yeah, I know.
He's not. He's like black people do not view him like
Because
black person.
he's not left.
He's not black enough.
Yeah.
And
So stupid.
And the reason, yeah, I know, right? Because to you, you like, that's a hard black dude. But to
That's the
black,
scariest black dude I know.
yeah, but
No,
exactly.
he's-
No,
he
he
is
no,
the
he
scariest
is the
black
scariest
dude
black dude
that we all know.
period.
Yeah,
He
on the
is.
planet.
right?
Right.
But by skin tone only. But like what he relates to and represents,
Yeah.
like the cocaine and the hoes, like that's some whitey, you know. It like the way that he grew up, like you know what I mean. Bones Jones didn't come from the hood and the ghetto,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Bones Jones is like that dude with very great genetics. I think his brothers and stuff.
Yeah, they're both.
They're in the NFL.
Maybe somebody made the
yeah.
NFL. Yeah, that kind of thing, right? Like, so he grew up with, like, he hit the genetic jackpot and decided somewhere along the way that, like, I kind of want to fuck people up. So what do I have to do? And then he got, like, minimum levels of training, and people were like, this is the best fighter I've ever seen.
Well, his wrestling ability to
The-
begin with.
Yeah, it's,
He
just got it.
You ever watch his first fight in UFC?
I never.
Nah.
He put on like a wrestling
clinic on the
Yeah.
on this
I'm
dude.
gonna watch
He
it.
was
I never
hitting.
watched it.
He was hitting wrestling moves that no one ever does
Right.
in MMA, especially.
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, shit.
and they're hard to do in wrestling. And this dude was doing it in a cage. Like I said, he trying to punch him in the face.
Facts.
Right.
So
That was right there. I was like, yo, this guy's fucking. This is
He's a
a freak.
freak.
Watch
Freak
him.
of
and by the
nature.
way,
Yeah,
this
he's
is
a
what
freak.
everyone who's ever come in contact with him says.
Yeah.
Off of a fucking bender, like
Yep,
trying to
yep.
pull him in, like
Yep.
dude's rock star might
Yeah.
not make it lifestyle. You know what I mean? But what did he do after the kick and the microphone?
Trump dance.
Right? He hit that shit.
And he went.
Yeah. Yeah.
He even hit the Trump point.
Yeah.
Trump
the
pointed
thumbs up.
back.
Yeah.
Trump pointed back to him, right?
Yep.
And guess what? How does that play out? How does that play out? If Kamala would have won, do you think she's in the crowd in UFC?
Right. Of course not.
With the
her whole cabinet.
camera on?
She's an elitist, Mike.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is she gonna fly down off the building after Mike comes out there with one little leg?
That's what I'm saying. She's an elitist, bro.
Right? So, and I think that's what ended up happening to the Democratic Party in general, right? Is because we started to identify with nicer things than we have, right? If I was Joe Biden, I would have killed that whole working class argument because everybody just saw what happened with the longshoremen. Under whose watch? Under whose watch did a union get a 60% raise? Mine, motherfucker. You say whatever you mine, right?
Right.
And then there's all these other union contracts that got negotiated like weekly.
Why don't you
getting
think
them.
they use? Why do you think
UPS.
they didn't use that as ammunition?
Because the Teamsters didn't. The Teamsters didn't,
Endorse.
They didn't
endorse
fuck with her.
Kamala
Okay,
Harris.
that's fair. That's a good
right?
point. Yeah.
Because they had a decision to make against a lot of their voting members, right? But Kamala could have pressed them. You see what I'm saying? Like
There's not much there.
that's the part of it where when people look and it's like you want to play a clean game.
Yeah.
You want to have no dirt on you,
Yeah.
right? But look at the team that wins the World Series. Is it the clean jerseys?
Right.
It's not the clean jerseys.
Saw the
right?
Astros win.
You know,
Cheating.
They cheated. Is my point.
And it was proven that they cheated, and they
Don't
still
give
got
a
the
sh-
fucking World Series.
The Patriots got deflate gates.
Yeah,
And whatever.
yeah.
You talking about the biggest dynasties in the world? Like
Yep.
at the end of the day, what are you going to do to win? Because I just saw what Trump's prepared to do to win.
So you say play dirty?
I'm not saying play dirty. I'm saying you have to assert yourself that lets people know
You can't play with me, right.
How are you actually going to react in a moment of duress, right?
I worried about
How are you going to react?
with Kamala. I worried about that because I'm like, I would see her people ask her questions. She would always answer like, "Oh, about the economy. I agree, prices need to go down, but what we're going to do is." I grew up in a single home. Like you grew.
You know, I grew up in a middle class.
What the?
What's that
Kamala?
What's that John Travolta movie? it was. There's a scene with John Travolta and he's talking to like a therapist or something, and they ask him. They said, if this person was born in 1938,
Oh, Phenomenon.
Phenomenon, right? You remember that?
shit,
You remember that
Phenomenon,
scene from Phenomenon, right?
Yeah.
So if this person was born in 1938, right? The Trump guy would have said, if they were born in 1938 and it's, 2000 they're 62. That's what the Trump guy would have wanted, right? That's the Trump campaign. It's like this is kind of an outline, but more importantly, you're getting me.
Right.
That's the secret sauce. I'm the one that's going to make stuff happen. The Kamala version was, is that a male or a female? What time were they born? Where were they born? Well, he's like, why would that matter? Well, if it's 10 p.m. in California or if it's 10 p.m. in New York, the guy's 3 hours older.
Yeah.
So, yes, this person is, 62 and 4 months, 10 days, 4 hours, and 36 seconds, right? So if anywhere along that way, my logic doesn't jive, my theoretical plan doesn't kind of mesh out, it washes away my actual message because I'm trying to defend too much. Like anybody knows, when you guys were putting this podcast and stuff together, it was like, yo, what do we need? It's like, I need a soundboard, I need some mics, I need, maybe we can get by with no headphones, right? And then somebody said, let's get the headphones, right? And it's an iterative process that as long as you guys are committed to making this a good podcast, it will be a good podcast, right? The day one of you guys loses passion for it and you don't really want to do it anymore, everyone's going to know, right?
Yeah.
Your quality is going to go down.
Right.
You're gonna feel it, yeah.
Your chemistry is going to go down, and eventually, there's no more episodes.
What's iterative mean? I've never
Iterative,
heard that word before.
like step by step, incremental improvement, right? So it's like the Taylor series expansion to infinity of an infinite destination that's in the air.
Got you.
Because I'm a smart motherfucker.
You definitely are, motherfucker.
Right? So, right? I mean, but that's
the way you're able to articulate your points. Is very,
I told
it's
you.
like,
What
I'm
I
not sitting
told
here
you.
like, Jesus Christ.
Very
I wish I could
impressive.
speak like this.
I told him, Mike, I was like, yo, if there's anyone to come on and be able to articulate well, I'm like, we gotta get my guy on.
Yeah, and I'm not fighting with
And
you.
you
guys,
tell the
'cause,
truth.
Like, I like y'all.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
You know?
that's why, yeah, bro. Like, what do you feel like? Two things. What do you feel like your issue is with the Democratic Party,
Yeah.
and how do you think they should go about fixing whatever your issues are with them?
So there's a show on Showtime that I used to watch. It's called Billions.
Oh, I watched
You
every.
ever see that show, Billions?
Yes.
Right.
Never seen it.
All right.
Billions
so
is the shit, dude. I
so
fuck with Billions.
there's a part of it where they talk about double binds, right? And it's the therapist's wife, Chuck, and she's
Wendy.
having a conversation. Yeah, Wendy's having a conversation with one of the rainmakers, right?
Yeah.
And it's gonna be and he's the one that's also where you kind of realize like these real high elites. They even determine the players that are even in the game, right? So
100%.
So that's what he's saying. He said, all right, so if someone's got a stick and they tell you that, if you tell them the stick's not real, that they'll hit you with it, and you don't want to get hit with the stick. And it's like, I can't tell you the stick's not real. I also can't I can't touch the stick. Like, there's nothing I could do. And he said, you break the fucking stick, right? And right now, the Democratic Party, it's a stick that needs to be broken. It's a stick that we've been successfully divided and conquered. You have the highest educated people with degrees in our party that think that the people with a high school diploma just aren't quite educated enough, right? But they don't have any path to educate them, and like I said, when I talk about education, I'm not talking about, the high school, college diploma, postgraduate, whatever. I'm more talking about people's ability to reason and think critically.
Yes,
right.
because that's more important than anything. Really.
And I think that let's not call it a purple party, right? But a party of centrists that was done correctly could successfully
I'd be right in there, immediately.
Take out this two-party system, right? And I think the place that they find common ground is to decide, make a real decision that The fringe is not where we're going to operate. I'm not going to operate in women's rights. I'm not going to operate in the LGBTQ community, right?
Interest.
I'm not taking people. I'm not here to give people less rights, right? But what I am saying is I'm here to serve my constituency, which is 99% of you guys. So if in the process of me serving the 99% of you guys, 0.5% of people says, you know, they were able to open up a tattoo shop next to my coffee shop.
Yeah, fuck offs.
And that never would have, make better coffee.
Yeah,
Get out
fuck
my
off.
face.
Exactly. Fuck out of here.
Right? Make
Exactly.
better coffee. I don't know. Change the fucking colors on the rainbow. But we're not addressing that right now.
We never have.
Right? We're not going to give it this thing that you can literally, and like I said, the people that were working for Trump, they were talking slick because they said, Donald Trump is for you. Kamala Harris is for
They, them.
they, them.
That shit was hard, though.
Yo, I'm driving and I said, who the fuck is they? Like, who are they? What do you mean?
Yeah, a point
she's
zero
for-
zero zero 6%.
What do you mean she's for they, them? And then you realize, like, there are so many people that are vocal about this small minority of people that have to fight for the fact to say, I'm a man. No, you're not, dude. Like, so when Donald Trump says something along the lines of, hey,
love
by
that
the
you
way,
said that.
I'm going to, as soon as I walk in, executive order that you either a boy or girl.
Facts.
Bottom line. And I'm done with it.
Yep. And people love that shit.
I'll let y'all sort it out from there.
Yep.
This is what I'm doing now. I'm done with it, right? There's no rebuttals.
No.
There's no people that are gonna go down there right now and say, "Hey, we're the pride team of America."
Right, 'cause they would've
and
did it.
We're fighting for transgender. He said, "Bro, I already said it. You boy or girl,
Right.
come back in 2028, whatever you doing." But I'm just letting you know what's going down,
right.
right? I gave you fair warning. And here's the thing: we're moving on from the topic, right? There are these people that fight these cisgender wars, and we want to be empathetic and we want to be inclusive of everyone and everything. Like, no, man, that's not how this works.
Yeah.
You need to operate on what do the people need.
Right. The masses that support you.
What do they need? Right? You got, I'll take it to manufacturing, right? You have businesses that put out these sustainability plans, right? It's something so
Some green bullshit.
It's so trendy. It's so
Fucking
cute,
stupid.
right? It's like it's like, hey, by 2035, we're gonna have zero emissions. Are you?
Right. It sounds cute.
Because how
right?
the fuck you gonna make your products? We don't know that yet. Yeah. But I'm letting you
Yeah.
but I'm letting you know. Come support us because we're on a path to zero.
This is why people feel like the left has lost their
Right?
mind, bro.
And that's what it is. Because now you have a mechanic who works at the site covered in grease that has to wear fucking oxygen mask
Yep, putting his health at risk.
because ozone's fucking blowing in his face that knows for a fact that you will never get this insecticide, you will never get this herbicide and have zero emissions.
Right. It's not
But I
possible.
need a job. So why do I got to come to work every day with you advertising that you don't want me to have a job? I'm going to vote a different way.
This is why I wanted you on the fucking show. bro.
You shouldn't be surprised when you lose me. You're telling me you don't want me to work. I'm not stupid. I keep this place going every day. You have no way to do this. You have no way to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But you put this thing in the air that makes people feel comfortable. It makes people feel safe. It's not even feasible.
Virtue signaling.
Exactly.
That's
right?
the party of virtue signaling.
And because those two things don't meet, you lose the working class.
And all revolved around banking,
Yes.
like loans.
In 2016, one of the first things Donald Trump did, and I'm in Parlin, New Jersey. One of the famous sites for the C8 dump, carcinogen, forever chemicals, whole 9 yards, right?
Where is it?
And It's in Parlin, New Jersey.
Harlan, okay.
So Donald Trump says, let's just let the states do their thing with environmental protection. Okay, what about the EPA? Fuck them. And that sounds like so crazy because, like, wow, how could you say fuck them, right? Guess what? I'm at a site. People are begging for the EPA. Why are you begging for the EPA? Because the Department of Environmental Protection for New Jersey is way more stringent. You didn't realize that some of the federal guidelines that were in place were keeping some of these states in place. You know why? Because blue people have this air of elitism that we are doing it correctly. And we look at the people down south like they're not. The Mississippi people.
Right, they're dumber.
Right? The people in Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah.
Out there with all their crude oil refineries up and down the Gulf, right? All the people in Houston, Texas. You got every single major oil refinery, right? We say they're going to take advantage of this and they're going to put more, of these chemicals into the atmosphere without destroying them through flare systems, et cetera. And they're going to cut costs and they're just going to make a killing doing it. And in reality, right? In reality, the people that needed the most regulation in order to check themselves were us. The people in New Jersey, right? Like, those were the ones who needed it the most. So it's, do as I say, not as I do. And I'm gonna watch you so hard that hopefully you don't ever turn that eye back at me and you start watching me. Bro, if you could be in a room with all these oil cats for like 10 seconds, they don't talk like normal people. I'm telling you, like, I was sitting with a guy one time and he was like, hey, that pipe looks a little rusty. You think it's gonna give out one day? I said, yeah, probably. He said, how much you think it would cost to replace it? I said, I don't know, I can get a quote, but I can tell you it's gonna be millions. Now this pipe replacement does not add anything to his bottom line. It is an expense.
Right.
It prevents a future leak, whatever. And he's like, when you say millions, you mean like 1 or 2, 3, 4? Well, probably somewhere in there. Oh, that's nothing. Yeah, replace that. I don't like looking at it.
Right. And it's done.
Right? It's like, what? You don't like looking at it? Right? But these are but like I'm talking about when you're actually in the room.
Yeah.
Not this shit you think that these people are. They're not that way.
Yeah.
Like, you go up to some of these people and tell them, like, yeah, man, I've been working for you for, 20 years. Things aren't going great. And, I might be losing my house soon. Losing your house? For what? How much do you own your house? And it's like, they don't want to know if you had a drug problem. They don't want to know if...
How much is it? I'll fix it.
Your wife left you, whatever. Like, they genuinely believe that people shouldn't have to... You shouldn't be that fucking close, not working for me.
Right.
They're offended that you work for them and you're having a financial problem. Bro, they're like...
That's amazing.
Right?
You're one of my managers and you're having that? So what kind of shit is going on with your guys?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, fuck that. We got to amp up bonuses here. I'll put you on a little program, we'll pay it back, whatever, but here's a $50,000 check. Like, I'm sorry you're going through that. But, like, are people in my place going through that? Because I can't have that.
Yeah.
These are the guys that you want to bring down and restrain a lot of times, right? They're not getting up there. You know who these people look like, right? It's like they look like Jerry Jones. Like, for the Dallas Cowboys, it's like, do the Cowboys win? It's like, not really. They don't really win. And people are like, he's fucking up the franchise. He's whatever. Like, have you ever heard a player complain about him? Have you ever heard a fucking coach complain about him?
Right.
Have you ever heard the town of Dallas say anything other than I fucking love? You know why? Because he said, build me $1 billion playpen locally. I want to know the motherfuckers driving the tractors up. Don't fly me in some no Turner construction. I don't need you.
How can you not respect that?
We're gonna build it in Dallas. We're gonna build it in Dallas with my guys. Well, Derry, that's not cost effective.
I don't care.
I didn't need to be cost effective.
Right.
The fuck are you talking about?
Right.
I'm building it with my guys.
Yeah.
And that's it. So that's why those people always seem a little off, a little aloof, right?
Right.
They do give that air. And that's why when you see somebody like Donald Trump, right? He's not going to match that prim proper vision that people have for their leader of the free world.
Right.
He's never matching that. What he does match is anytime you meet one of these guys that are like this, that's exactly how they are.
Right.
Like they legit will, they do say stupid shit like that, and
Yeah.
they do, but like they're dead serious.
It's not a show.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
100. It's 100% not a show. Like they'll look at you with a straight face and be like, "So if I wanted to own Destin, Florida, what do I have to do?"
Yeah, be dead ass serious.
And you'd be like, "You can't own a town," and they'll be like, "Why?
Why not?
Why can't I own a town?" And then like you'll go back and forth, and they'll be like, "Okay, I get it. Can you build me a town?" You know what I mean? And like people will walk away like, who the fuck is this
Right,
guy? And
right,
it's just
right.
like, you gotta recognize, man, those guys at the top, like the way their motor turns is different.
Yeah.
And you know, even within us and your own lives, you know, my life, like I just look at it as I develop, there genuinely are things that I want for my family now that I recognize. They're like, it's so cheesy, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's like we're not hanging up the phone, not telling each other we love each other.
Facts.
Like we're not gonna do that anymore. So yes, we just had a conversation that you didn't like, I didn't like, and we're gonna tell each other we love each other, right? Because that's what our family stands for.
Yeah.
And then the people who say like, oh, you should let people freely express themselves and whatever. It's like, okay, what is that moral code? What is that standard that you guys have for your family? Can you explain it? Can you tell me what your family's morals are actually anchored in?
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm looking at you right now, and you got a 10-year-old that can watch YouTube for 12 hours.
Yep.
But if I put his, you know, a book that he should want to read, or, you know, a Bible in front of him, it's 10 minutes and he's lights out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just about these, you know, these changes that we can make on the outside. It's like we have to recognize that our morals and our internals are what is governing us. That's why we can't take real looks at people, because we just, no, I want a superstar. I want the polished person. I want Kamala. She has no flaws. She's black and her hair straight. She doesn't know what a silk press is. This chick is different. Like, you know, so it's like if I'm picking her,
I don't know what a silk press is.
exactly.
I don't know.
Right? All my sisters know what a silk press is, though, right? So, like when you're looking at these people, you're like, that's what a leader should be. That's why they're so shocked and offended of like, how did you not see this person? But you also have to recognize that like you date people, you know people in real life for who they are, not these idealized versions of them.
Yeah.
So when you look at Trump, if you don't see a real dude, you're fucked. You're too far off course to even have a conversation about whether he's an asshole or not. Facts. Whether he, you know, is going to create a climate that might be more dangerous for black people. That's cool. I know black people. They're like, we shooting back this time. Fuck it. Okay, fair reaction. Like it. You do what you're gonna do.
Right.
Like when I came home and said, I don't know where I was at. I don't have a phone, but I know I'm going to sleep. See you in the morning, right? I already made my decision. I'm not dealing with your shit, right? I got my own shit. So you have to be able to manage your life and, you know, your vote, whether it's personal, utilitarian, whatever, war on God, I don't care. Whatever your reasonings were, bro, let them be your reasonings. Don't feel bad for your reasonings, but also accept the fact that some people are going to have different reasons. Right?
That's what I tried to do.
They're going to have.
That's
That's not what he tried to do, by the way.
You don't know that.
I don't know that. I don't know that. What I do know is there are some things bigger than trying to have a constructive conversation, right? Like if I already decided in my head that I love you, I might try to have this conversation with you 50 times. And every time I see you get agitated, I'm going to relate it to a place of I've experienced great loss in my life before. You too, right?
Yep.
So you recognize that when you lose brothers, fathers, mothers, things like that, you aren't your whole self. Your ability to deal with adversity.
Yeah.
You feel things, right, at a much more
Deeper level.
sensitive level, right? And most importantly, the people who are around you that are close to you in your proximity. In my proximity is you have the ability to have a conversation with me that you know I will respond to,
Right.
right? When people have that type of access to you, you don't want to see any of those people as a threat, potentially, for any reason, right? Because you're at a place right now where you can barely keep yourself together, right? So
Yeah,
if
fair.
I can barely keep myself together, I want to know that if I'm falling apart around people that I'm safe with, right? So then that's where it turns into I had an opinion. I wanted to vote a certain way. I felt very strongly, but there's reasons that you feel more strongly than maybe normal, right? And how could you ever vote a different way, or how could you ever question my logic,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, number one, don't question the fact that I love you. Number two, are you all right? Right? Like, if we can get past those two things, I need you to know, like, I'm not married to communicating why I did this or why I did that at any point, and I don't care what it is, because I know my intention,
Right.
right? I'm also willing to take the consequence of whatever that was. That's why I said I'm not explaining it. I'm not explaining it because what I already did was fucked up enough.
Right.
So what you need me to do? Convince you that it was more fucked up than you even might think it is? Right?
Right.
So you know, people will confuse transparency for accountability. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
Right? Like, honesty is not transparency, which is not accountability. All separate things, right? And you know, right? You've been around people before where it's like they only answer one out of every three questions. But when they answer, it's true. But you like, I really don't know what's going on with that cat.
Right.
Lack of transparency, can't build trust with them, probably keep them at a distance. Guess what? That relationship's always going to be at a distance. It's cool, right? But then you'll have people where it's like, all right, you did something wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're not in a place where you can be compassionate as to why I feel like I was wronged, right? That
Fair.
even if what you did was right, you got to recognize, like, you can be right and it doesn't matter. That's where Kenny loses, right? Kenny sometimes will lose in the fact, like, I can repeat this story verbatim and tell somebody, and they will agree I did nothing wrong. So why the fuck am I getting this result in this scenario, right? And it's because being right, and it wasn't a being right or being wrong type of scenario, right?
Fair.
And you know, just like for me to speak personally, I say it because that's something that happened, you know, even in my relationship where it was kind of like, I do everything for you guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking sounding like Franklin on Snowfall, you know, like, look where you live, look what you have, look at this, like, you know, and it's like, but I don't feel that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And it's and that's when you sit up there and realize, like, well, what if I was the other person? What would have to be going on that all of this stuff could be taken care of, could be done, and I still feel this way? Like, am I truly just ungrateful? Come on, probably not, right? You're not gonna pick somebody that you're with for 10 years and all of a sudden, oh yeah, you're ungrateful.
Yeah.
Like, nah, bro, it's not that. Right? So you have to be able to sit there and realize that it's like, whatever you're doing, how you're doing it, at some point, there's a disconnect building that if we let it get big enough, we're gonna end up saying fuck you to each other. And you know, now we can't salvage or maintain that relationship. So it's like you don't wanna you don't want to win an argument at the expense of, losing people because we're older. Like I don't know about you guys, right? I don't have all these excess people to lose.
Yeah, I agree.
So you can't always run
You
around.
whittled it down. You've whittled it down.
Yeah,
Right.
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 I trust that I've whittled well.
Right.
Whittled
But
well.
we'll talk about it more off camera because it's not for this. But I really thought I was trying to be compassionate in that, in my responses and everything. I always like, yo, I hate that happened. I'm sorry. I would never say that to you. That. But it was like, but I didn't agree with. Still didn't agree with her. It was like can't even see. I'm like, damn, you can't even see that I'm making myself vulnerable. I'm stepping outside of the argument right now.
Yeah.
I'm making myself vulnerable. I that's so horrible that happened. And I feel bad for you, this, that, and the other. And some of the shit she said to me, I'm like, I would never say that to you over a political. I said that. I'm like, I said that. I said I would never say what you just said to me over this.
Yep.
And it just wasn't enough though. Like I disagree. I was like, all right, cool. And she said what she said, and I kept it respectful, and that was that. But that shit hurt, yo. It really did, because I never had that happen, like from a real friend.
Yeah.
Over some shit like that. It was the first time. Well, I've heard it happen to people before. I'm like, damn, that's gotta suck. Like for that to really. And I was like sitting there in shock, and I was on my phone in my bed for like an hour, just figuring out how I should respond. Because this is a person I care about.
Yeah.
This is a person I knew since fucking 4th grade, and it's like, but I was trying to come back, and it was like, I'm like, all right, I'm not going to keep, at some point you keep telling me to fuck off. I'm not going to keep coming back and like, oh, well, but I don't know. Maybe hopefully it can be salvaged, man, because I still would be willing to, but I feel like she feels so offended because she's so deeply entrenched in her beliefs, coupled with what she's going through.
Yeah, man.
The loss, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And-
you just gotta
and
read
so
the
I
room.
get that, but it's like,
Yeah,
sometimes you kind of forget about those things. I'll be honest, I kind of forgot that.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I forgot that. And if she maybe would have said like, yo, listen, maybe I'm a little bit more emotional or whatever because I'm just still dealing with this, I would have been like, oh shit. Like, you know what? I apologize. This ain't even that important. You know what I mean? Like, we can believe differently, but and that was another issue I had with not even just her, but other friends that I know. Some of them are acquaintances. Like, well, if you voted for Trump, you voted against me. It's like, how long have you known me? Like, I don't get the benefit of the doubt first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the hurtful part. It's like, you never know me to be like that. You never know. So I would think if you know me to be a pretty caring person, reasonably intelligent, I would think if my friend like that I don't know to be this way is choosing to vote or support this, I have to talk to him and figure out why. That's how I would go about it, because I would be so surprised. Like, I know this person's smart. I know he's caring. I know it, but I just can't understand why he would go that way. And it wasn't none of that. And I'm like, I can't do nothing with that, yo. I can't do nothing with people that refuse to try to, because I'm not going to be the one that's always trying to be reasonable and want to listen to why you disagree, because I could fucking learn something. I'm not going to go into my exchanges with that mature of a thought process while you're not going to do it. That's not fair to me. And that's why I'm like, I don't want people like that around me. I don't, anyone. It's not even friends, family, anybody. Like, I don't have friends. Like, my friends, you're my friend, and this is why we're friends, because we can do this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I lack a lot of respect for people that can't do this. Because it's like, how old are
For the
you?
record, I told her I was coming on.
Good.
Yeah,
Good. Good.
I said,
I
hey,
get it.
listen,
Like,
regardless, I said, regardless of all that,
Yeah.
we'll go on there, I'm gonna still talk to him, OG.
Yeah, of
but
course.
you know what I'm saying? But like, I'm not really the type to be really ducking people or letting somebody else tell me something else about somebody else.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? Like, I
Go
know,
to the source.
I know Duke. Like, I know him and I know you. Like, you're the best of us. You have a big heart. You know, when somebody like you is on their side, right? You know, like there's those people. It's like, man, I could go to war with this person. You know what I mean? Like, she's one of them people. Like, it's like, yo, you go to war with her. Like, you know, there's nothing that's gonna happen.
She got you.
Right. It's like she got your back. So then that's why it's one of those when you disagree with those type of people, right?
It hurts.
It's you as the person even disagreeing with them need to recognize, is this just a regular disagreement? Like, am I just talking to one of my homeboys and we can shoot the shit? No. No, you're not. So be careful what you say and just evaluate, is this even worth saying?
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes it's best to just call the bomb squad, disarm it. Yo, why the fuck would you even say that? Because they're going to come at you hard.
Yeah.
Right? These aren't the softest of people. Life has not allowed that for them. Right? So when they come at you, you got to say, I'm just going to disarm this one.
Okay.
You know?
I get that. But what if you didn't, like, because I want everybody's input here, like with this, because I'm not, I'm going to keep it respectful of her. I mean, I obviously would never say names and nothing like that.
Yeah.
But if somebody, like I put a post up, you may or may not have saw it when
I saw it.
The one about
You haven't noticed? I saw everything. I'm telling you about shit from 2000. I saw it.
the one of me saying people should be a little careful. They're emotionally charged and whatnot. With this, that. I get a response.
I think I responded. You.
Huh?
I feel like I responded to that.
I don't think you did. You might have. I don't know. But that's why I didn't say nothing though. Like right after, I didn't say anything. But I was watching social media. I'm like watching people saying like wild shit. Because I'm like, y'all are emotionally charged right now, and I get it.
I was melting down.
You know what I mean? Like, but you didn't. I didn't see you post nothing crazy or disrespectful to your friends that voted differently.
I'm just solid. That's as much as I melt down.
Talk your shit. But yeah, I posted something. I didn't think it was offensive. I'm like, yo, people, y'all are charged up. You might like not want to say. You might want to just take some time to pipe down before you say certain things, because you're saying things against people that supposedly you love and your friends, and they're really insulting fucking offensive things, and they don't stand for that. I get a response from her. We don't just not care about Trump supporters.
Yep.
We despise you.
Yeah.
I said, despise me? Like me?
Yeah.
She was like, yes, you. And I'm like, and then we went to a little back and forth.
I told you, life has not allowed everyone to be able to approach things softly.
I get that, but here's where it's hard for me. Even if you've had a life like that, right? Because I had a good amount of trauma, because if we could do sob stories, we can do it. You know what I mean? But I'm not about that. Never been about that. But life hasn't really, in my lifetime, I look like life has treated me nice because the way I am, my demeanor. You wouldn't know I've had all the fucking trauma and shit that I've had. Same with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We present well.
100%.
So when you come at me as a friend who loves you, right off the rip saying I hate you, bro, there's only so much I can accept from a person, because you're being childish. I feel like now you're behaving like a child because you saw something you didn't like. Oh, I hate that. I hate you. It's like,
But
you
that's
didn't have
not
to
what
go
you're
that
allowed
far.
to do. But that's what you don't do
What?
with friends.
What's that?
Like, because you also posted that. I hate that I got the receipts up here. But like,
I love that you have it.
I hate that I have.
I love
but
it.
that was one of your follow-up posts. It wasn't that day, but I
Okay.
think it was a next day. Like, to say, like, if you're responding this way, it's also closed-minded. It's also, well, okay, like, I mean, this isn't the Jay-Z and Nas beef,
Right.
Like, fucking end the speculation. Say a nigga's name, like.
But it was because it wasn't just her.
I know.
Hers was the most
I know there were-
intense, but there was others
There
too.
were probably multiple people, but
Right.
but my whole point is, that was something that you addressed, right?
Okay.
And that's a place you didn't need to engage. Like somebody said something to you that you knew was so far out of bounds, right? Imagine if your only response to that would have been, I don't have a phone. Never saw it. Right? This is what would have happened, right? She would have sent that to you. She was in her bag, saw you said some shit that was kind of like, whoa, are you with us or against us? Because I can't tell.
Right.
So now you acting like the ops. You are the ops.
Okay.
I'm telling you, you're the ops. I'm telling you.
Wrong approach. But
Yo, she
but
said,
that's fair.
she said, I'm telling you.
That's crazy.
I despise you. I'm not asking you
Right.
nothing.
Right.
No questions, right?
Right.
And then what if you would have just let her sit in maybe being wrong? And then what if the other people that were also going through that, we didn't come back with this response to say, you know, if you want to be a fully developed, great human being, you need to be able to engage in difficult conversations and dissenting discourse, right? Like, what if you don't put that out there? Because that's not for everybody. Most people,
I don't think it makes a difference with,
most
with her if I didn't put that out there.
most people. No, here's what does happen, right? When you say something to somebody and they never really respond, and they don't acknowledge it
Yeah.
in some way, I can't get a follow up. I don't understand, right?
Right.
So now I'm fully emotionally charged,
Yeah.
right? And this person literally just gave me nothing. They didn't tell me I'm not allowed to think that. They didn't call me an asshole. They gave me nothing in return,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I might be able to go a week or two and say, well, I told them. I must have been right. Right? I must have been right. But like a month down the line, 2 months down the line, yo, I'm just somebody who said some shit to their friend that was out of pocket. It always ends there.
Yeah.
And guess what? Now I'm going to make a bid at some point. At some point, I might not apologize for what I said, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, damn, man, the Eagles keep winning.
I don't fuck with that.
You know, and you're gonna say, yo, let's talk about when you called me an asshole,
Okay.
right?
Right. I might do that, and
'cause
then
that's what you
see,
gonna-
and now whatever the response is from there, that's when I make my decision.
right? Because
Yeah.
that's what you're gonna do,
That's
right?
fair. Yeah.
Right. And then that person's going to tell you like, yo, man, I was charged up. It was like the day after. I don't know why I said that shit.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna say, in the future, don't talk to me like that, probably. But like, Jalen Hurts is kicking ass. And as soon as you say Jalen Hurts is running in them touchdowns again, guess what? Y'all can resume, right? You always get an opportunity to tell somebody like, yo, you don't talk to me that way, right? But you have to have the discernment of what is that moment that you tell them that, right? I've gone through very similar things. I got a movie date on Thursday with my homegirl, and like me and her haven't spoken for months. And the reason we didn't speak for months is because she was talking to a dude, and she's like, he sends me these reels, and I don't understand why he does it. And I'm like Instagram videos?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, do you watch the video? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, when you watch it, and based on the conversation that you have, it doesn't make sense. And she's like, no. And I'm like, well, tell him to stop sending you stupid fucking videos. So,
Straight like that.
so,
Right. That's how we think. Simple.
So she forwards me one of these videos.
Okay.
This is a couple days later. She forwards me the video. And I was like, oh, damn, that's pretty obvious. She's like, I just don't know what he meant. And I said, I'm going to be honest with you. At this point, I think you have a video comprehension issue. So she didn't talk to me for like 3 months.
Of course she didn't.
Yeah. She told me. she told me I was rude and you know the whole 9 yards and
Video comprehension.
yeah. And I hit her with a one-liner. I said, "Hold on. I didn't say that to offend you, and if I did, I am sorry.
Right.
And I'll give you the space that you need. I'll be here whenever you get ready."
Yeah.
So then we waited all these months, but Gladiator 2 came out, and
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see
she
that.
knows I'm the guy for that shit. So get the little forward. Denzel's in it. Now I can go back and say, but what's up with that video comprehension shit?
But you're choosing your moment.
Right.
But instead I said, when are you free? I am buying the tickets and I am coming to take you out.
Yeah.
And she said, all right. So it's like you can decide the terms of the friendships, but like when you recognize that just those relationships are long standing, you know, those people are more important to you than like, you know,
Being right.
Yeah, being right, man. You know, and just like you because sometimes what you don't realize is like if you're telling me something, I'm trying to receive that information and I'm adding it to my bank, right? So next time this comes up, I can tell somebody about this, right? Like I can say, you know, the reason why the tips and wagers and not being taxed, you know, is a big deal is because of this, right? Now I have a viewpoint. I'm not in that industry. I don't know.
Yeah.
He says that shit to me. I don't in one ear out the other. I don't give a fuck. Tax overtime. Okay, cool. I ain't never got an overtime check. So like I don't know. Right? I've been salary since whenever. I'm pretentious. I'm an elitist Democrat. Kiss my ass. You're not speaking to me right now. but if someone else gives you some game, then you're like, all right, cool. Now I know what you're talking about.
Right.
And now I know that like I don't have to necessarily compromise myself or my beliefs to make somebody else feel comfortable. My job is to allow room for their beliefs and their thoughts to exist next to mine. That's the part.
fair.
That's how you don't exclude people.
Right.
It's not about overly communicating yours. It's like, no, man, you got space for that over here.
Yeah.
Please
I
come,
want to hear what people have to say.
please come
You know
tell
what I mean?
me.
And you can start that off by not saying you hate somebody.
Because then you find
Right.
common ground.
Exactly.
Sometimes it started off by that, right? But it's not so much about that. What I'm saying is, I just hope that you guys get a Gladiator 2.
Me too.
That's what I. That's
the thing.
That's
Hey,
what I hope.
and that's
right?
why I was-
And on that note,
Yeah.
we got to stop this
Oh yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
All
We're
right.
almost there.
Dishwasher
Oh,
man.
2
But
o'clock.
definitely we got to do it again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for
Mike.
having
We
me. I
appreciate
really
you.
appreciate you guys.
And this has been the Pouring Rain Podcast. I'm Bert.
Ken Shaba.
Balls.
Mikey Frost.
We'll definitely have a Make It Frost part 2. All right, we'll see you soon.
I'll pull up.
Instate on decision. Mr. Function, come off it, teach them all a lesson. Me say, when we fire drum and bass, how we mash up the place.